often I found in my own existing network, I feel this, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit, but this competitiveness to one over my friends, but not in a network like this. And I think that's the power, is that we don't have that social connection from the get-go. It comes about, we have this business connection and this drive to support each other, and friendships only form out of it.
You're listening to the Profit by Design podcast, episode 50. You work hard in your business. On the Profit by Design podcast, we ask the big question: what has your business done for you lately? Hi, I'm Dr. Sabrina Starling, the business psychologist, the author of How to Hire the Best, and your co-host on the Profit by Design podcast. Weekly, my co-host, Mike Bruno, and I bring you tips, tools, and strategies from our own experiences and from the experiences of our guests, who are entrepreneurial thought leaders and real-life entrepreneurs, all to support you in making intentionally profitable and sustainable business decisions to live the lifestyle you desire. Is your business running your life? Are you fed up with working crazy long hours only to lay awake at night worrying about cash flow, or feeling totally angry and frustrated over what your team isn't getting done? If so, listen up. I've got something I want to share with you. At Tap the Potential, we have our small group coaching program that is designed for business owners just like yourself who are done. You're done with the way things are going and you're ready for a change, and not just any little Band-Aid change. You want a life-changing business transformation. That's what we specialize in at Tap the Potential. We turn life and cash-sucking small businesses into highly profitable, great places to work. And then we send those business owners on a 4-week vacation while the business runs without them. If that sounds good to you, I invite you to check out our small group coaching program at Tap the Potential, where we integrate Profit First, the Pumpkin Plan, and my book, How to Hire the Best, into our small groups to produce these transformations. All the while, we're working with you to be the leader you need to be to create this business that can run on its own while you have more life. Check us out, tapthepotential.com. Profit designers, today's guest is one that I anticipate many of you will recognize. In fact, he was on the Profit by Design podcast previously as our guest for episode 1. Now, if you've never recorded a podcast, you can probably still relate to this, that going on air for the first time as a new podcaster is a little intimidating. And we could not ask for a better guest for episode 1, because Mike Michalowicz joined us, and he was so gracious and so good at helping us carry the conversation. I don't know, I can't speak for my co-host Mike Bruno, but I can speak for myself and say that, boy, I was so nervous with that first episode. Mike Michalowicz joined us. He kicked us off on the right foot, and we have been rolling ever since. So it is an honor to have him back with us for episode 50. Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're already at episode 50. The time has flown. So as Mike joins us today, we're going to get into a conversation and give you an inside peek at what goes on at our retreats that he and I co-host together at my home, the Entrepreneurs Retreat Center here on the Bayou. So the retreats that we co-host are called Breakthroughs on the Bayou. And they are, the theme the last 2 years has been the 4-week vacation. And the upcoming retreat in March 2020 is themed the 4-week vacation legacy retreat. Now, one of the things that I have really enjoyed about getting to know Mike over the years and working with him so closely is being a part of his process and observing how he solves problems for himself as an entrepreneur, and then realizes, you know what, this could help other entrepreneurs. Mike is eternally curious. He's always asking questions. He never assumes he knows it all. And he is very quick to share his own School of Hard Knocks experiences with us. And on today's episode, you're going to hear a little more insight into how he develops each of his books and the books that have had such a huge impact. For myself, my two favorites are The Pumpkin Plan and Profit First. But he's got another one in the works, and you're going to get to hear about it here. This one, I think, is going to be another classic in the Mike Michalowicz collection. So with that, let me read you his formal bio. By his 35th birthday, Mike Michalowicz had founded and sold 2 multi-million-dollar companies. Confident that he had the formula to success, he became an angel investor and proceeded to lose his entire fortune. Then he started all over again, driven to find better ways to grow healthy, strong companies. Among other innovative strategies, Mike created the Profit First formula, a way for businesses to ensure profitability from their very next deposit forward. Mike is now running his third $1 million venture, is a former small business columnist for the Wall Street Journal, is the former MSNBC business makeover expert, is a popular keynote speaker on innovative entrepreneurial topics, and is the author of Profit First, Surge, The Pumpkin Plan, and The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, which Business Week deemed the entrepreneur's cult classic. So we'll be diving into the conversation with Mike here shortly. But first, I want to share an opportunity with you. This opportunity is one to work with Sir Stephen Wilkinson, who is actually going to be our VIP presenter at our Breakthroughs on the Bayou March 2020 retreat. You know, I've been thinking about something. Would you buy your own business? I mean, knowing what you know, with all your experience and inside knowledge, would you buy it? And if so, what would you be willing to pay for it? And would you be happy leaving you as the manager to run it for you? I'm guessing these questions might be making you feel a little bit on the spot. Why is that? Well, for most of us, our businesses, where we spend most of our time and all of our time thinking about, represent the single largest investment of our lives, and possibly next to our home, our greatest asset. It's the source of our income, the storehouse of our creative talent and our relationships, and it's the determinant of our future freedom and prosperity. This business, your business, is too important for you not to give it the best chance of success. And that's why I'm excited to share with you a special course that's being offered by Sir Stephen Wilkinson. Entrepreneur as Investor, How to Calculate Your Stock Price. Now, you may remember Sir Stephen from episode 41, and if he got you thinking and wondering about calculating your stock price, you're going to want to check this out. His course is starting September 5th, and there's only 15 spots available at the time that I'm recording this. Sir Stephen is offering a special savings for our profit designers. You can get into the course at 50% savings by using code TAP2019, TAP 2019. To access this course and learn all the details, go to tapthepotential.com/investor. Mike, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited to have you with us.
Dr. Sabrina, it is awesome to be back. And I have to be honest with you, you really host one of my favorite podcasts. I just love the in-depth interviews. My still all-time favorite of yours is the Ole Miss interview with Jeff McManus.
Yes.
Yeah. Just love your content. So
thank you. Well,
of the show.
You were instrumental in helping us learn how to podcast and figure all of this out. And you were guest number 1.
I know.
A little funny story. I'm going to seed some competition here. So most downloaded episode, obviously, episode number 1, because people discover the podcast and they want to go back to the beginning. So you have the number 1 spot there, most downloaded. Do you know who your competition is?
Who's running number 2?
Number 2.
Is it Jeff McManus?
No, but it might be now after we've talked about him so much.
Such a good episode. Such a good episode.
Donna Lyons.
Donna Lyons. I'm not surprised.
Episode 6. And what you need to know to grow based on the pumpkin plan and the sweet spot.
She has such rich content As you know, we have a mastery meetup for our organization here, and she was our guest lecturer. And every time she speaks, it's page after page after page of notes. It's just really impactful, actionable stuff. So I'm not surprised, but now my competitive spirit's kicking in, and so we have to make this the best episode ever. Yeah.
Yes. So we have a really fun topic to get into today, Mike. We are going to talk about the retreats that we do together every year. It has really evolved over time because way back when, 5 or 6 years ago now, feels like that was an eternity, you used to come to Wyoming and we would do the mastermind retreats for my clients. And we did it so simply back then. It was just a one-day retreat and we would all gather together. You would share your best stuff. I think you rolled out Profit First.
I did.
That retreat.
Your mastermind, our mastermind, whatever, was the first group to hear that. And I remember you rented out that college facility and we were in a lecture hall and we had a quiet room. It's so amazing in a mere 6 years how it's morphed now to an actual retreat facility.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I'll tell you, I think the content has always been exceptional. The intimacy, the confidence, discussions that happen at a retreat of this magnitude is extraordinarily better. I'll tell you, the best tips I think people learn is not necessarily from me or you or the guest expert divulging all these wonderful secrets. It's a discussion that spawns after the fact, and how people are sitting down, relationships are being built, best practices are being shared. I just love what it's morphed into.
Yeah, and the community. So I think at this point, we should clarify what it's morphed into. We now do this at my home in Louisiana at the Entrepreneurs Retreat Center on the Bayou.
And you use the word home very liberally because it is a retreat center, right?
I just happen to live at it.
Yeah, you just happen to live at this facility. So, your facility is on multiple acres of property. It's quaint, it's quiet. There's a river running through it. I like to sit out there in the morning, drinking a cup of coffee, watching the river, the bayou flow. You have that, it's not a pergola, but that outdoor seating area where you can easily sit 20 to 30 people comfortably. There's the fire pit. There's the walking area. You and I, other people, we've gone for those long walks around there. So it's really a facility, but the nice thing is, to your point, it has that home feel. It's not like you're going to a hotel and there's that, nothing against hotels, but there's kind of a generic, almost surgical, sanitary kind of feel. And this is a much more home, much more intimate setting,
Yeah. And I really think that's the key, is that everybody relaxes and gets comfortable. And that's where the conversations flow. And so, the process of how I've developed this is just every year we always ask for feedback and how could we make it better and what can we do? And I really feel like we finally nailed it, but we always get more and more feedback about how to make it better. But the one thing that's always commented on is how people appreciate that it's not in a hotel conference room, that we're in a living space. This year it rained a lot, so we were inside in a large living room, kitchen area. Our retreat participants cooked together. We had some, and we don't make them do this. They wanted to do this. They volunteered to cook a meal together. And that was wonderful. And then there was discussion going on while the meals were being prepared. And, the concepts had been shared and ideas talked about. You introduced your next book that's coming out at this retreat, and we're going to build on that next year. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So our retreat is typically when I reveal my latest research. And sure enough, my next book, now it's been titled Fix This Next. I pitched a hypothesis, or now it's a thesis, that the biggest challenge entrepreneurs face is they don't know the biggest challenge they're facing. There's this confusion about what to fix. And so then we often go to the apparent issues. We're constantly jumping around and putting out fires. But if we could identify not the apparent, but the impactful issue, the one that really is the game changer in the moment, that will move our business forward. And the next challenge will present itself. So what Fix This Next is, I define it as the entrepreneurial compass. It's a method to not rely exclusively on instinct, which we do. It's a way to check our instinct and say, is this congruent with the logic that my business is presenting to myself? And if it's congruent, this is the issue. It's based upon Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow studied human needs and said there's a very base level need for oxygen and food and water. And if we're deprived of that, nothing else in life matters. Like if you're out for a evening with friends and you're having this wonderful conversation and all of a sudden you start choking on the food you're eating, the conversation isn't so important. It's all about dislodging this food that's stuck in us. So we revert back to these base level needs. But Maslow also pointed that as a base level need is serviced, then we can elevate to higher level needs, ultimately the highest level being self-actualization, living into life's purpose as we define it. Well, I found that this translates into business. So there are these 5 stages or hierarchy of needs that businesses have, but if the base is not being satisfied, we will revert to it. But once it is, we must elevate up. And entrepreneurs get very confused because even though we rely on our instinct, we are not wired into our business like we are into our bodies. So our bodies instinctually say, you need to breathe air, you need to eat food, you need. We think we can correlate this to our business, say our business needs this, I can feel it. But the actuality is we're not neurologically wired into our business. So we need this compass. And so what I revealed at our first retreat was my premise of this and how to define it. And it was clunky. It worked, but it was clunky. And the feedback came in and the realizations appeared. For the last 12 months, well, it will be 12 months when we meet up again, but for the last 8 months or so, I've been working extensively on refining this, including with members that were at the event. So, the breakthroughs at the Bayou isn't just that day. There's a community that lives on, and we've been talking actively. I've refined it, and the system is so much simpler now that the average entrepreneur is pinpointing the biggest challenge in their business in under 15 minutes using this system. And we've had about 30, 40 people go under the new current system. And we'll continue to get more and more, hopefully thousands by the time that we have this retreat. What I'm going to do and reveal at the newest retreat is my latest findings. And this will come out even before the book does. It's not due until April. So people at the retreat will be the first to hear my latest research in the Simplify system and be able to use it in their business.
Yeah. So Breakthroughs on the Bayou 2020 is going to be early March, and your book is coming out in April. And so our retreat participants are going to get an inside glimpse into, and I know as an author myself, when my book comes out, I wrote that 6 months ago. And so I'm constantly learning and getting feedback. So there's new stuff and new, more refined ways. And that's really what I love about our process is we get this feedback constantly from clients and people who are using it. And then we can hone and refine and make it better and better. So our Breakthroughs on the Bayou 2020 participants are going to get the latest cutting edge on Fix This Next.
And you get different perspectives. What I love about Breakthroughs is the fact that it's not the same business. I go to conferences all the time, and I love and feel honored that I get to attend all these different conferences. One of the challenges, though, that many conferences have is they're industry specific. So it's the cleaning conference, it's the pizza shop conference, or whatever. And what I hear at these events is the same 5 or 6 ideas circulating over and over again. Here's how you improve your business. But it's the same people talking about the same problem, so the same ideas circulate. What you structured at Breakthroughs is a very diverse group, which means diverse perspectives, which makes us challenge the notions. In fact, one of the things I love to do most is we do that masterminding, and you have this really specific strategy about presenting new questions and new perspectives while we do that mastermind component, which we'll be doing again at the 2020 event. And what's so powerful is now the person that owns the pizza shop or whatever it is hearing from an attorney, is hearing from an accountant, is hearing from a manufacturer, is hearing from an author guy, and hearing from all different perspectives. And it becomes this magnificent eye-opener.
Yeah. So I want to give a little shout out here to a fellow podcast, and we know him, Mike Michalowicz. He launched the Talent Brand Show, and it is all about healthcare recruiting in hospital systems. And I've been listening and, having written How to Hire the Best, and I'm all about how you attract great employees to small business, I'm learning how big hospital systems recruit. And it's that kind of like, why would I need to know what big hospital systems are doing at first glance? But it's everything, because they have their most effective things that they're doing. And if I can take the most effective things and then I translate that down to small businesses and how they can use it, now we have something innovative here. And that's the kind of cross-industry, out-of-the-box exposure that we get at Breakthroughs on the Bayou, because we have business owners across all different industries. And I really think there's some common threads though, and it's not industry, it's mindset. And it's a mindset of, I want to grow myself and I'm going to be my best. And I want to support other people. Our participants are so invested in one another's success. So I'll share a little story. One of our mutual colleagues and good friends was getting ready to go on his 4-week vacation. And he was encountering some challenges getting ready to do that. We put out a call to our Breakthroughs on the Bayou alumni and said, we need to hop on a Zoom call and do a little mastermind with our colleague. I think 5 or 6 people immediately, and there would have been more. It was just the scheduling and people's different schedules. 5 or 6 people came together, did what in the question method that we use is called Q storming. So it's brainstorming questions. They Q-stormed with him. He had his aha moment, or I think it was actually several moments. I couldn't be on the call because I was on my 6-week vacation. I was away and you were away also. So they moved him through that and he was able, I think he took a 5 vacation, and it wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for our alumni being there at his crisis point when he needed help. And so that's what I think is so powerful and so different about Breakthroughs on the Bayou is it's not a one-time event. It's not like you're going to come for a couple of days and we're going to have a great time together and see you later. Good luck. Hope everything works out. We stay in touch. We have a very active Facebook group. We have a lot of fun posts that are being generated in there by our community members, a lot of, connecting and reaching out, sharing resources. And then we're also doing retreat reunion calls. So every quarter we come together and we have participants who at the retreat, we kind of just through the conversations learn they're doing something really unique or something that would really help other entrepreneurs if they incorporate it in their business. We ask them to share that on our retreat reunion calls. And I'm going to do another shout out here to our mutual colleague, Christine Era, did a retreat reunion call for us a few weeks ago and shared everything they have adapted from Traction and the EOS system in her.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. And also there's a little, I was about to say undercurrent. That's not the right word, but there's this little competitive spirit that kicks in too. Not in the, I'm going to beat you, but I need to be able to be here. I need to compete. There's a sports analogy that if you want to improve your game, whatever the sport is, play with athletes that are already performing at the level you aspire to be at. And so that's happening. Everyone's performing at a higher level in some capacity. There's a couple people there, yourself included, extraordinary at recruiting extraordinary talent, right? There's some other people there that are systems. I think of Christine right away, systems oriented. There's other people that are really good salespeople. And so everyone's playing at a higher level in some capacity, and it up levels everyone else because we have that inherent competitive spirit. But here's what's so interesting about this form of competition. There isn't the negative downside, which you see often in social networks, like this one-upmanship, like I need to show my friends that I am better than thou. And the reason it doesn't exist is because we don't come in rooted in friendship, and we don't serve the same social networks. I don't know the people that everyone at the event is congregating with and hanging out with when it comes to the weekend barbecues, and they don't know my friends either. So that friendship competition, which actually can be very negative, doesn't exist whatsoever. It's all about elevating each other through this kind of competitive, fun spirit. And that's the funniest thing about our existing networks. Often I found in my own existing network, I feel this, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit, but this competitiveness to one over my friends, but not in a network like this. And I think that's the power, is that we don't have that social connection from the get-go. It comes about, we have this business connection and this drive to support each other, and friendships only form out of it, but perhaps something even greater than friendships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and just this year, we've had retreat participants taking vacations and going to visit each other's businesses, spend time with each other's families, and really just be in the setting that the other entrepreneur is in, and then taking that back into their own business. It's really been phenomenal to see that happen. And you talking about the spirit of collaboration and being at your best and everyone sharing from their gifts. That's one of our immutable laws. Shout out to the Pumpkin Plan. If you've read the Pumpkin Plan, you need to have your immutable laws. One of our immutable laws at Tap the Potential is be a gift from your gifts. We seek to show up and serve our clients and our communities from our gifts. So whatever we have that we can share that we're doing really well with, we want to share that with others. And you tell a very powerful story at the start of Profit First Mastery Meetup and other contexts. We've shared it at the retreat. It's the corn story. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Mike. Can you share the corn story?
Yeah, and we've adopted it for breakthroughs. So the corn story was something fascinating that I came across, and maybe it's part of mythology, but it speaks this truth. So as the story goes, and I may paraphrase this significantly, there was a award-winning farmer growing corn in whatever town he was in, and he always won the blue ribbon prize so many years consecutively that a journalist was compelled to interview him and say, how do you do this? As the journalist pulls up to interview this guy, the journalist notices that owner of this farm with the prize-winning corn is giving seed to his neighbors who are leaving with his seed. And the journalist says, why are you giving away your seed, your best seed? And this is something that was new to the journalist. The owner said, you don't understand that for me to grow corn, it gets fertilized from the surrounding corn. So corn is always exchanging its fertilization of each other. So the performance of your neighbor's corn dictates the performance of your corn. If my neighbors grow inferior corn, ultimately my corn will be inferior. Therefore, it's my responsibility to share the absolute best I have with them because they have the best corn. It will fertilize mine. So by giving your best to who surrounds you, you in turn get even better. That's the core essence of what we believe philosophically for growing ourselves. And so when we start off the Profit First Professionals event, when we start off with breakthroughs, we talk about corn, and that the more you contribute, the more you're going to be getting in return. It keeps on sowing greater and greater thoughts and concepts and ideas. It really elevates your business, this contribution mindset.
Yeah. And I think that's been a big piece of why our alumni come back to the retreat year after year. We have very few openings because the alumni keep coming back. And I love it because they're going out, they're getting better and better at things and then bringing it back into the retreat and sharing it. And you and I keep growing our body of work that we're independently working on and collaborating on sometimes together. And we come back and we share that. But it's our new members who come into the retreat that I think are so important because they're cross-pollinating. They're bringing in the new ideas and the difference. And so if they're in a different industry or they have different life experiences or different entrepreneurial experiences, they are making us better.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been talking offline about this, and you said that, your mission is to always open a small section of this as long as it's reasonable and appropriate for the people that are already in it, but open a small community to constantly bring in the fresh fertilizer, if you will, for the community, right? To constantly bring in fresh ideas and to bring richness to the new members. So I think it's a very powerful concept to always have a small degree of freshness entering the group.
Yeah. And, one of the questions that's been put to me by several of our alumni is, how are you going to scale this retreat? Because if you make it, when you open it up to 100 people, it's going to lose the intimacy. And so I've had some people suggest maybe you should add on to your home. And no. So what I'm really looking to do is scale quality and, elevate the experience for all of us. And so the retreat is always going to be a once-a-year event. It's always going to be limited to 25 participants, and we're going to scale the quality of this event.
Right. And what I love about that is, quality is not defined by business size. I think a lot of people default to that, say, oh, if I don't have a $1 million company or a $10 million company, I guess I'm not quality. No, quality is the richness of your commitment to elevate your business. It is the uniqueness of your business. It is that you bring fresh perspectives and are open and desirous of other fresh perspectives. The quality of the participant is the quality of the participation, not the size of your business. That's I think an old generic kind of measurement. And ultimately, no, it's the richness of the participant that matters. I've had the privilege now to meet with hundreds of thousands of business owners through speaking engagements. Obviously, I don't speak to hundreds and thousands, but after these events and so forth, people come up to me. And what I've discovered is that sometimes a $250,000 business is more successful than a $25 million business when I look at all the different elements.
Yeah.
So And the richness of what I can learn is through all these types of businesses. So we're looking for a diverse set. There are some big, in the traditional sense, businesses there, but there are also going to be some big businesses in the richness of the participant, their drive, their uniqueness in the industry. We had one guy, aquaponics. This guy's like, I'm going to go into cities with aquaponics, so you can do farm to table within one building. Like we will be, growing herbs and stuff and be delivering it to the restaurant that's next door. Within an hour of it being cut, the food is being served. Like that is such a rich niche. And it was a new business. It was a brand new concept. And that gentleman, brought perspectives that no one had ever heard before. So we're looking for that diversity.
Yes. And the other thing that I think is really interesting is a lot of times we feel like my business is a mess because we're focused on all of our problems. And, like, oh my gosh, I can't hang with these people. They've got it all together. They've taken 4-week vacations and 6-week vacations. I can't hang with them. So what I want you to hear loud and clear is my business was a mess a few years ago. Mike's was a mess. Our other participants, we had messes, and it's not about the mess. It's about learning from each other and elevating our game and moving out of that mess very quickly. And I am thinking about just the other day, I saw in Slack in one of our small groups that we have at Tap the Potential, a participant who was brand new to us came to the retreat, and then she was starting the small group coaching program with us afterwards. She reported that her accountant told her she's 25% up over last year across the board. And I mean, that is a radical, in just a few months' time, she came to the retreat. She said, I'm doing things different. I'm going to learn from the people around me. And I have seen her, we're going to bring her on the podcast, and I'm going to get her on to talk about this herself. But she has been learning from the different people at the retreat. She's been doing what we've been teaching at Tap the Potential. She's incorporated how to hire the best, pumpkin plan, profit first, putting the systems in place. And she's elevating her game. And it started because of she wanted to show up and be there and be around people that could teach her a new way to do things.
Yeah. Points to that concept, the one thing. There's a great book out there by a guy named Gary Keller who wrote The One Thing. There's another book on this concept called Essentialism, a very similar slant. And the whole idea is that the most impactful improvements we can make in our business are narrowed down to the fewest of things. It's, the old Pareto principle. 20% of the changes we make in our business will have 80% of the effect. The key is to go in that 20%. I think in traditional conferences, and this is not a conference, but traditional conferences I've been to, there's a waterfall of ideas. And then the person, the attendee walks out saying, I got 1,000 ideas. I guess I got to do 1,000 things. They come back to the office with all this enthusiasm and then are overwhelmed. One thing we do at Breakthroughs too is we really narrow down, and there's accountability. What's the one thing? The big thing the group decided was this 4-week vacation. And the concept behind the 4-week vacation was, at the last meetup we had, is that if you can remove yourself completely, digitally and physically disconnect from your business for 4 consecutive weeks, your business, in theory, can run into perpetuity without you. So the goal isn't the vacation. The goal is to bring autonomy to the business. And it's by extracting the owner so you're not the linchpin. And the process is not overnight. You have to develop your team, introduce new systems and processes. But this little shift in mentality of I'm leaving my business for an extended period changes our perspective of how we run our business. So that little minor 1% mind change, I'm going on vacation, I got to think differently, can have this extraordinary impact. And we'll be doing it again. We're going to find that one thing that the participants at these events have to walk away with. And maybe it will be a collective group commitment like we did at the 4-week vacation. Maybe it will be individual goals of things we need to do. But we will walk away with the one impactful thing that is going to be the game changer for our business.
Well, and that's where I want to circle back to Fix This Next, because I went through the process when you were here at the last retreat. I listened to your talk and it made total sense, but I was not fully present because I was running the retreat, doing this and that. And so I got the opportunity for one of our coaches at Tap the Potential, Stacy, coached me through Fix This Next and the model. And this was part of, as you're trying this out, you wanted feedback. And so she took me through that model, and I was focused in one area that I thought I needed, the one area that was going to have the greatest impact on the business. But as she coached me, I realized I was in the completely wrong area. I needed to be focused somewhere else. So incorporating the Fix This Next methodology in the next retreat is going to make it even more powerful, because our participants are going to come away with, there's 10,000 things I could do, but it's real clear. here's the one thing that I need to do next that's going to have the greatest impact. And what I love about the Fix This Next model is once you do that, you know what you also need to do after that and after that. And so it takes us entrepreneurs out of that, I'm running around and I'm just plugging holes here, there, and everywhere, and it's chaos. It's a real clear, this is the path. You do this and you do that.
Exactly. And that's my intention for when we meet up is everyone's going to walk out with a tool that is so simple. It's a sticky note sized tool you can use that will become this constant reference point, this constant compass. And every time we achieve that next objective, we see the burst in growth or whatever the goals we're achieving, autonomy or profitability or impact and legacy. Once we feel that, then this compass, we can refer to it again, 5 to 15 minutes. We know the next thing to nail and start working on and continue this. The goal is a living process. And again, it complements the group. We're a living group. This is not, like you said, it's not a one-time, set it and forget it. We'll see you later. This is something that we're going to be together for life.
Yeah, we are. And we keep supporting each other and growing. And that's the best part. So let's tell our profit designers about this special offer that we've put together. With you being a guest on the podcast, we are going to have a Mike Sent Me savings on retreat registration. So Mike, do you want to tell them what they need to do?
Yeah. So, we go to the website. What was the URL again?
The website, very simple, 4weekvacation.com.
4weekvacation.com. So yeah, go to
And it's 4weekvacation.com.
And so, the ticket is a $10,000 ticket to be here. And I'll tell you, that is a deal of the century for the quality of expertise that will be in that room, the quality of participants in that room, and just the experience itself. To remove yourself from the business, it is extremely valuable. But one thing that we agreed to is that if you use the coupon code Mike Sent Me, thanks for putting my name in there, Mike Sent Me, we're taking off. It was about...
Yeah. So the early bird registration is $89.97. So if you tell Darren, who is our sales, he'll talk to you about the retreat and give you all the inside scoop on it when you're on the call with him. If you tell Darren, Mike Sent Me, he's going to let you in for $69.97.
Yeah. I mean, off the full at the door ticket price. I mean, that's $3,000 plus. I mean, it's a massive savings. And selfishly, we're doing this because we want to get participants lined up early so that we can prepare for the event. Selfishly, that our listeners can take advantage of this now and get significant savings and be part of a group. Hopefully you join us for life, that this is not just a one-time commitment. Here's the thing I want to share. And I've been telling people, I think this is a great guidance now. When considering something like this, I think there's two kind of emotions that kick in. One's the instinctual level, and your instinct's going to say, I got to do this. Or your instinct's going to say, I shouldn't do this. If your instinct says I should do this, then the next kind of level that appears is then the logical thought. It's like, well, I don't know if I should, and I don't have the time, and it's expensive, and am I going to get the return, and blah, blah, blah. What I found the best thing to do is to trust the instinct. They even say this when you take tests. You fill out, it's answer B, and then you're like, no, I should really think through this. And then we change from the right answer to the wrong answer. I found our instinct is the best. So my advice here in this case is, you've heard the podcast, you hear what we're doing. If you feel at the instinctual level this is right for you, even if you're scared or nervous, I am telling you from my experience, it is right for you. Sign up. Conversely, I also want to say, if at the instinctual level, you're saying, you know what, this doesn't feel right for me, but now you're trying to speak yourself into it, I would argue in that case, it's not right for you. This is not the time. Trust the core level instinct. It serves us correctly almost all the time. So just trust it. And for the people that join us, I cannot wait to meet with you in person. Can't wait to hang with you, to dine with you. You do get your own sleeping quarters at a hotel. So we won't be resting together.
You're not going to be crammed in with Mike in a room.
We won't be crammed in a room, but we will be enjoying coffee and dinner and everything in between. And I really look forward to that one-on-one intimacy with everyone that's going to be joining.
Yeah. And I want to just speak to that a little bit, that this is a fully inclusive retreat. So when you're registering, we take care of everything. We've got the hotel room for you. We provide the transportation to and from the airport to the hotel to the Entrepreneurs Retreat Center. You are really on retreat.
All meals too, food.
Yeah, food. And, we come to the airport, we greet you. It's a big celebration. And you're coming to Louisiana, so we eat really good food. And there's a lot of it. There's no shortage.
If you like Southern cooking, it's amazing. If you don't like Southern cooking, who are you? Because it is the best cooking on the planet is Southern cooking. And we do some fun stuff. That is the best.
We have in years past, we've done bonfires and, it's a lot of good camaraderie. So if you're interested and your gut is telling you, I need to be there, go to 4weekvacation.com. There's going to be an application that we'll send you. There is a $500 deposit to put your application in. We fully refund it. When Darren talks to you, if he's hearing from you something that makes us think it's not going to be a good fit and not going to serve you, he will be honest with you because we are scaling the quality. We are really dedicated we want to have the right people in the room. And if it's not a good fit, we're going to be upfront and tell you that. And then we refund your deposit. So when you're on that call with Darren, it's not a coupon code. It's just when you're on the call with Darren, you need to say, Mike sent me, and Darren will take care of you. He knows what to do.
Good. That's wonderful. So, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
So 4weekvacation.com, you'll be hanging with me and Mike. We'll be on the bayou. Good times. Good times.
Great learning. Great growth. Let's do this.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Dr. Sabrina. I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you ready to be the leader you need to be to have the business that gives you your life back? If so, you may be a good fit for our small group coaching program at Tap the Potential. You can apply directly by going to profitgift.com. All one word, profitgift.com. What are you waiting for? Your life is waiting for you. Thank you for spending time with us today. Join our conversation in the Profit by Design podcast Facebook group. Share your thoughts on today's episode, ask us questions, and let us know what you want to hear about next. Visit our website at profitbydesignpodcast.com to access resources from our sponsors and tools we've created for you. Subscribe to the show on whatever platform you're listening to right now. There's a subscribe button right there. Go ahead and hit it so that you always get a notification when we release a new episode. And finally, share our podcast with a friend if you know a friend who would enjoy it. Thanks again for listening. This is real life business. Keep your chin up, keep moving forward. You got this.